Welcome to the Airsoft Reports firing report of the Echo 1 M14 SOCOM. Today, we're going to show you how the M14 performs on the range. Now we've set up targets at 50, 75, 100, 125, and 150 feet to give you a pretty good idea of how the M14 performs at the various ranges. We'll start by taking aim at the 50-foot mark. Alrighty, you've seen how the M14 can perform on the range. Now, in semi mode, it's not exactly a tack driver, but it holds its own. Its maximum effective operating range on semi is really not going to be much farther than 125 feet. Doesn't mean you can't spray a few rounds out there with full auto and hit your target, but if you're trying to do one-shot kills out at that range, you're not likely going to be able to accomplish it easily. The sights on the M14 do give you a pretty good degree of maneuverability in that regard, though. You can fine-tune them quite a bit. And of course your windage and elevation are fully adjustable, so you do have a lot of room to play with that. Our shooting impressions were overall pretty good. We noticed that we did have some hop-up issues. It's not the most precise hop-up adjustment. It's not bad. It's probably a little above average in its class. But you will find that there is a point where you basically have the BBs going too high or too low, and finding that sweet spot's a little difficult. Overall, it impressed us. Like I said, 100 feet is probably where you're going to be getting your best accuracy. That's the maximum distance for best accuracy, but it will reach past that, past even 125 feet. Now, to give you an idea of what it can do using the full auto function, we're going to show you, we're going to fire a few bursts at the various targets, give you an idea of what it can do on full auto. Let's take a look. Now at 50 feet, the M14 doesn't have any trouble hitting its target, so we're going to start this full auto test at the 75-foot mark and walk it out from there. That concludes the Airsoft Reports firing report of the Echo 1 M14 SOCOM. And we've learned a few things after having fired it. Firstly, the iron sights, fully adjustable windage and elevation, are invaluable. They allow you great access to very precise measurements at multiple ranges. There are many things to like about the gun. There are some things that we dislike. Performance-wise, it does quite well. It's a little above average in its class, hitting the 100-foot target without really any problem at all. It can reach out and hit the 125 target with reasonable accuracy, though it's less than 50%. And if you really want to long ball it, you could hit the 150 mark, though you're going to be pointing the gun up quite a bit. So performance-wise, it can hold its own. Magazine size is decent, about average in the class, comparable to an M16 at about 330 BBs or so. Battery size is also decent, but that does bring us to one bone of contention we have with this gun. As we mentioned in the quality report, the battery compartment is quite small. Now here you have the battery that came with it, which is an 8.4 volt 1500 milliamp battery. And you have a similar sized battery pack, also 8.4 volts with 1800 milliamps. Believe it or not, this battery will not fit into the compartment. You can see where the plastic has actually been torn just a little bit by us trying to force it in. Even the stock battery is a tight fit, as again you can see portions of the batteries are actually torn just a little bit from the battery compartment. That is something that we were quite disappointed with. Frankly, this is a solid stock. It's a fairly large compartment in there. It should be capable of housing a larger battery. For some reason, Echo One or whomever manufactures this decided to not do that. Still, it doesn't detract completely from the gun. It performs well. Its accuracy is reasonable. Be sure and clean your barrel, because ours had quite a bit of crud in it when we opened it up, and cleaning it really does help your accuracy. Make sure to use good ammo too. Cheaper stuff will fly off target pretty easily. So all in all, the Echo One M14 is a pretty reasonable option. It looks very good. It's a little heavy, but its accuracy is pretty decent. We would recommend it. We consider it to be slightly above average in its class. We got our model from Long Island Airsoft. They shipped it very quickly. They're great people to work with. You can find it on the market varying between $155 all the way up to $165 depending on where you go. This has been an Airsoft Reports presentation. Thanks for watching.